The black fang gates hadn't changed. They still rose high and sharp above the trees, iron spines crowned with old wolf sigils, each one blackened by war and time. The scent of ash still clung to the stone, mixed with pine, damp moss, and something else. Him. Riven dismounted slowly, her boots crunching on gravel. She stared up at the dark spires of the Alpha Keep. 10 years had passed. She hadn't returned once. But this place, his place, still smelled like memory and blood. The thorn brand on her back twitched again. Not a flare, a warning. "Name," the guard grunted. She didn't answer, just pulled her hood down. The scar across her cheek caught the light and his eyes widened. She didn't need to speak. Everyone in Black Fang remembered the Alpha's dead mate, and the girl he raised after her bones were buried. Inside the keep, silence swallowed her. Stone halls stretched endless and cold. Her footsteps echoed like claws dragging. Wolves passed without speaking, pausing just long enough to scent the unfamiliar familiarity of her. She looked like her mother, but she moved like something else. Then she saw him, at the top of the stairs, framed by torchlight. Alpha Kalen Virek. He hadn't changed. Still tall, still cloaked in silence and command. His black hair was pulled back now, more streaks of gray at the temples, jaw more angular, body more brutal than she remembered. He didn't move when he saw her, didn't step forward, didn't smile. Riven. Her name in his voice, steady, low, made the thorn brand twitch again. Her lips curled. "Still brooding like the world owes you something, Alpha?" His eyes flickered. Not amusement, not offense. Recognition that she was no longer a girl. He didn't hug her. Of course not. He turned. "Your room is ready. South wing." She followed, footsteps matching his. Not close, not far. He stopped at a door, paused, then opened it without looking at her. "You'll be safe here. Afraid I'll get eaten by your wolves?" she said. "No." He looked at her now, direct, measured. "Afraid you'll start acting like one." The thorn brand flared sharp, like fire under her spine. She inhaled sharply. His eyes narrowed. "You all right?" he asked. The first trace of something almost human in his tone. She straightened. "I'm fine." But that night, when she pulled off her tunic, the thorn brand was glowing faint silver across her back, shaped like a fang, burning only for him. She woke from a dream of claws and breath against her throat, went to the training yard before the sun rose. He was already there. Of course he was. He handed her a blade without a word. She took it. No greetings, no warmth. But when she lunged, fast and low, he blocked her easily. When she twisted, he caught her wrist. And when her palm touched his skin, just skin, the thorn brand burned so violently her knees buckled. She collapsed. Kalen stepped back instantly, face unreadable, chest rising just slightly faster than before. He said nothing. She didn't ask if he felt it too. They both knew. That night, she heard the howl, deep, broken, echoing from the northern wing of the keep. No one else stirred, just her, lying on her side, eyes wide, spine on fire. The thorn brand glowing beneath her sheets. She whispered into the dark. "Why you?" In the shadows beyond her window, something moved. Not a rogue, not a wolf. Him. Watching, breathing, keeping distance, because if he stepped closer, the bond might win. The next morning, she was already waiting in the yard when he arrived. Dawn hadn't broken yet. Mist hung low across the stone floor like breath too afraid to rise. Riven paced barefoot, hair tied up, muscles coiled like she was ready to fight a war instead of a man. Kalen said nothing as he stepped into the ring. No good morning, no comment on the bruise that shadowed her jaw, no warning. Just the same sword from yesterday, handed out without eye contact. He faced her, feet steady, spine straight, alpha still. But not the same kind of stillness as yesterday. Tighter, more deliberate, more dangerous. They sparred hard, steel against steel. Breath short, sweat rolling down the line of her throat. She cursed under her breath with every block, every dodge, every time she almost landed a hit, and he caught it with just a look. She hated how fast he read her. She hated how her body reacted to every motion he made. A low clench in her gut every time his voice snapped, again. She hated the way his gaze flicked, just for a second, when she spun too close and her shirt lifted over her hip. He didn't look again, but he saw. She saw him see. And she hated herself for remembering how that felt. Hours passed like storms. They didn't speak unless it was to strike or correct, but silence can cut sharper than any blade. That night, she stood under the courtyard archway long after everyone else retired, watched the stars, let the thorn brand cool. He found her there. She didn't turn when he stopped behind her. "You should rest," he said. She exhaled. "You always talk so much." Silence again. Then, "You're too reckless in your left step," he said. "You favor your dominant leg when you pivot." She turned. "You watching my feet now?" His expression didn't shift. "I watch everything that's dangerous." "Oh," she said softly, eyes narrowing. "So now I'm dangerous?" His jaw flexed. Then he turned and walked away. The next day, he called her to the lower training grounds. No guards, no witnesses, just them. She thought maybe he would speak this time, acknowledge the bond, the dream she knew he must have felt too. He didn't. Instead, he handed her a wooden blade. "No fangs today," he said. "You need to learn how to beat a wolf without claws." "I've already beaten one," she muttered. He didn't rise to it. That made her angrier. She pushed harder during the fight, faster, sloppier, let her temper slip, let the bond burn under her skin. She struck high. He caught her wrist. Again, always the wrist. And this time, she felt it. His thumb twitched, just barely, and the look in his eyes, not dominance, not alpha. Man. Staring at a woman like she was a knife pointed straight at him. Her breath caught. She shoved him back, hard, panting. "Don't touch me like that." "I didn't," he said, voice too steady. "Didn't what?" she snapped. "Didn't let myself." She didn't sleep that night. The thorn brand was quiet now. Not cold, not hot, just waiting. She paced her room, ran her hands down her arms, tried to ignore the fact that her body missed something it hadn't even had. And worse, she knew he was awake too. Outside her door, his shadow passed once, paused, didn't knock, didn't speak, but her breath hitched anyway, because the bond flared. Not like heat, like a promise unspoken. The full moon rose red. Riven saw it crest over the tree line just past dusk, a low, sickle-shaped thing, bleeding light across the mountain ridge. She felt it in her teeth, in her chest, in the pull behind her ribcage. The thorn brand didn't burn. It throbbed, slow, rhythmic, like something beneath her skin was waking, calling, wanting. And it wasn't hers. The keep was too quiet, too watchful. Every wolf in the halls could feel the bond bleeding through the stone now. The air tasted like lightning before the strike. She didn't wait for the pulse to take her. She ran, through the trees, past the wards, out into the wild hills where only rogues hunted and fools died. She didn't care. Her chest ached, her mind spun. She wasn't going to let the bond decide, not again, not when it pointed to him, not when it made her want the man who had once held her like a daughter. She didn't hear them until it was too late. 3 rogues, filthy, broken-shifted wolves with snapping jaws and yellowed eyes. They circled her fast. One leapt. She slashed, hit it. Another slammed into her side. She hit the ground hard. Pain, blood. Her blade lost. Snarling breath hot at her throat. And then a sound that cracked the trees. His roar. Kalen descended like a storm. He didn't shift fully. He didn't need to. One swipe sent the first rogue flying. The second one he tackled to the ground, claws dragging through its spine, teeth ripping clean. The third tried to run. He didn't let it. Blood splattered across the ferns. Her blood. Theirs. His. Kalen stood above it all, panting, covered in red. His eyes were full silver now, and they were locked on her. She backed away, tried to stand. Her leg gave out. He caught her again, like he always did. She screamed and shoved at his chest. "Let go of me!" "You're bleeding." "I don't care!" Her fists hit his chest, weak but angry. "You think showing up and saving me changes anything? You think the moon can just force this? Force us? Like it's fate?" He didn't flinch, didn't move. "Do you think," he said, voice low, "I wanted this?" That silenced her. "I fought it," he growled. "Every night since you returned. Every time you breathed near me, I buried it so deep I thought I'd choke. And still it comes back. You keep running from me, and I still find you." Tears burned behind her eyes. She clenched her jaw. "Because I loved you like a father once," she whispered. "And now I don't know what this is, but I hate it. I hate that I feel it. I hate that I want." He stepped back then, not because she asked, because it hurt him to hear. He turned away, bloody hand shaking. "I would never take what isn't freely given." She fell to her knees, alone in the dirt, heart hammering, the thorn brand pulsing hard and high now, like it was punishing her for the truth. Later that night, in the woods far from the keep, she shifted. Not fully, not clean. For the first time, her wolf came through, wild, half-formed, broken-voiced, and howled. Not in pain, not in rage, in confusion, and she howled one name, his. Kalen stood far on the ridge, unseen. He didn't answer her call, didn't howl back, but he pressed his hand to his chest and whispered, "Don't want me. Please, gods, don't want me back." The thornbrand was silent for 3 days. Riven hated the quiet more than the burn. It wasn't gone. She could feel it, dormant, coiled, waiting like breath held too long. The connection hadn't severed. It had simply receded, as if it, too, was holding its distance. The keep avoided her. They didn't know the details, but wolves had noses, and secrets in Blackfang never stayed buried for long. Every hallway she passed turned colder. Every pair of eyes turned away just a second too fast. She was becoming something else. Not a soldier, not a daughter, not a Luna, and not anything she could name. Kalen didn't speak to her. He didn't show up in the training yard, didn't send for her, didn't pass her in the halls. His absence became its own presence, a space she carried inside her like frostbite. Silent, numbing, painful only when she thought about feeling again. She stayed up most nights, sometimes outside on the wall, sometimes in the old stables where her mother's scent still clung faintly to the rafters. Once, just once, she passed the north wing and paused at his door. She didn't knock, but she stood there long enough for the thornbrand to stir, and long enough to hear him move on the other side of the wood, like he knew she was there. But neither of them opened the door. By the fourth day, her bag was packed. She didn't tell anyone, not even the steward, but she couldn't stay in a place that made her feel like she was suffocating on a heartbeat that wasn't hers. She left before dawn. No horse, just a pack, a blade, and the hope that if she moved far enough, the bond might finally give up on her. The forest didn't stop her, but the scent did. It hit her an hour out. Wind cut, faint, wood smoke and wolf. Him. She turned fast, jaw clenched. Kaylin stood 10 paces back, arms crossed, coat dark, eyes unreadable. Going somewhere? He asked. Her voice was flat. Didn't think you'd notice. I did. Didn't think you'd care. I shouldn't. She laughed once, hollow. Then go back to pretending I'm not rotting inside your walls. You think I don't feel it? He snapped, stepping closer. You think this bond only hurts you? She drew her blade and pointed it at him. He didn't flinch. I think, she said, you've made your choice clear. You don't want me. That's not true. Then what is it? Silence. Then, I don't trust myself to want you. The words hit harder than steel. She dropped her blade. Not on purpose. Her hand just failed. He didn't move, didn't reach for her, but he watched her like a man watching fire and knowing he'll walk into it anyway. I loved your mother, he said. You know that. I remember. She was light, grace. His voice faltered. You're something else. She swallowed. Say it. You burn. They didn't touch, didn't speak again. She turned and walked past him, back toward the keep. He didn't follow, but he stood there until the trees swallowed her again. That night, the Thornbrand woke up, not angry, not aching, warm. She sat up in bed, breath caught, pressed her palm to her spine. It pulsed once, then again, like it was calling. She got up, not dressed for show, just wrapped in a thin tunic, barefoot on cold stone. She didn't know where she was going until she stood at his door again, and this time, she knocked. No answer. She knocked harder. Still, nothing. She tried the handle. Unlocked. The room was dark. Not unwelcoming, just quiet, as if everything inside was trying not to breathe too loudly. Kaylin sat at the far end, back to the fire, shirt half undone, bloodied knuckles resting on the edge of a chair. He didn't look at her. Why are you here? Because I can't sleep. That's not my problem. She stepped closer. Then why is your bond keeping me awake? Now he looked at her, eyes rimmed in gold, shadowed, exhausted, torn. I told myself, he said slowly, that I could survive this, that I could bury it like I buried everything else. And? His voice cracked. I can't. The fire crackled. Nothing moved. Not the room, not her, not him. But something snapped, soft, unseen. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Then say it. No. Say it, Kaylin. He stood, fists clenched, jaw locked. I want you. The silence after was louder than thunder. She stepped closer. He didn't back away. I hate that I feel this, she said. I hate that I want you back. But I do. I don't know what that makes me. He closed the space between them, not touching, just there. Heat and hurt and hunger layered so tightly it could have torn them both apart. You are not weak, he said. Then why do I feel like I'm breaking? Because you're choosing it, not the bond, not fate. You. She reached for his chest, fingers trembling, stopped just shy of touching. I can't take another lie, she whispered. You won't have to. But he didn't kiss her, didn't mark her, didn't claim her. He stepped back, pulled his coat from the chair, and laid it over her shoulders. "Not tonight," he said. "Why?" "Because if I touch you now, I won't stop." She didn't sleep, but she stayed, on the other side of his bed, wrapped in the scent of the man she couldn't name out loud, and the thorn brand pulsed, slow and quiet, like it knew what waited. At sunrise, she reached for him in his sleep, paused, then pulled back. The bond didn't protest, it understood, because the next time they touched, it wouldn't be an accident, it would be everything. They summoned him at dawn. 3 elders, cloaked in wolf pelt and ritual ash, stood waiting in the high chamber of Black Fang's council hall. The stones were old, the moonlight through the skylight sharp and cold. Kaelin entered like a man walking into judgment. Riven was not invited, but she came anyway. She stood just inside the threshold, silent, arms crossed, spines straight. No one stopped her. They all knew, now. The bond wasn't rumor anymore. It pulsed through the keep like wildfire. And so did the choice no one dared speak aloud. "You are Alpha," one elder said, "but the pack feels your weakness." "Your silence," said another. "Your refusal to claim a Luna," the third finished. Kaelin said nothing. His eyes flicked toward Riven. She didn't move, didn't blink. "This bond," the first elder continued, "is unnatural." "A second mate," spat the second, "should never come from your first bloodline." "It insults her memory," the third snapped. "And your station." Kaelin finally spoke, voice low, steady. "It was not my choice." "Then choose now," they said. "Claim another, sever the bond, or forfeit your title." Riven's nails dug into her arms. So this was it. The moment he'd let go of her to protect the pack, the moment he'd give them what they wanted and finally sever the last thing tying him to her. She closed her eyes, waited for the words, waited to hate him for them. But they didn't come. Instead, Kaelin said, "Then I forfeit." The chamber erupted, gasps, rage, disbelief. "You would give up your crown for a girl you helped raise," the first elder barked. "She is not yours," shouted the second. "She is not even your equal," sneered the third. Kaelin turned toward Riven, slow, deliberate, and said, "She is mine because I didn't choose her. The moon did, and I would rather burn in exile than ever mark another." Silence. Sharp. Final. Riven couldn't breathe. Her throat closed. Her chest tightened. Her wolf surged under her skin and... She stepped forward. No hesitation, no fear. "Then exile me too," she said. All eyes turned. "She was raised in this pack," the second elder snapped. "She is not bonded by law," the third barked. "She is not Luna," the first hissed. Riven stepped closer to Kaelin, laid her hand flat on his chest, felt his heart pounding. Not from fear, from holding back, from always holding back. "I never wanted this," she said. "I never asked for this. I ran from it. I hated it. I hated you." His eyes closed. She wasn't done. "But you let me hate you. You let me fight it, and you never once tried to break me." Tears burned at the corner of her eyes. She didn't let them fall. "I choose you now, not because the moon says so, but because you waited until I could say it first." Kaelin's head dropped just slightly, as if her words were heavier than the room, as if they finally let him breathe. She turned toward the council, her voice cold, steel-laced. "I'll leave, but I won't leave alone, And if you try to stop us, you'll see what the daughter of a Luna and the mate of an Alpha can do." They didn't answer. Didn't have to. The air around her shifted. A ripple. A scent. Power. The thorn brand flared white hot, and for the first time, it didn't burn. It merged. Kalen turned to her slowly, lifted his hand, not shaking, not restrained. He touched her neck. Just barely. The mark appeared under his fingers, a glowing crescent of heat and bond and choice. She reached for his collar, marked him in return, and the bond snapped into place. Not like a scream, like a sigh that had waited a lifetime to escape. The council said nothing as they left. No one did. Even silence knew better than to question fate when it finally stopped being cruel. They walked through the halls shoulder to shoulder. No words, no smiles, no victory, just presence. Earned. At the gates, she turned to him. "You know what they'll call us." "Yes. They'll say it's wrong. They already do. They'll say I was your daughter." He looked at her, eyes soft for once. "And you'll say?" She stepped closer. "To hell with them." They stood at the edge of the woods, exiles, bonded, unbroken. The thorn mark now dark across her spine, not glowing, just there, branded. His, hers, theirs. "You raised me to be a weapon," she said. "Then let me be the one who stands beside you when the world comes to burn." If this tale of forbidden bonds, untamed wolves, and love that defied blood, law, and legacy left you breathless, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your favorite moment. Because in this pack, love isn't pure, it's earned through fire. Stay bold, stay broken, stay unclaimed, until fate dares to mark you.